here yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand to your feet and make noise for Gresh Unleashed!
Let's go! When the club go around here, I'm a cactus. Bang, bang, gang, I don't owe you jack. When I'm in the ring, it's just me and my best friends. OC cutting no slack. Hollywood Miz, you can put me on the A-list. Gresh Unleashed, better put it on your playlist. Me and my fam be ballin' like the Bruce. Fight night, baby, hard hitting like Sheamus. Family first, yes, bloodline business. Winning all the gold, look at how they witness. I was taught to be the greatest. 1,000 days I'm running, check out the book of Guinness. Coolin' with the baddies in the baddie section. Guarantee you they ain't jaded. Yellow, you baby face, I ain't feeling your gimmick. The fans think it's overrated. Brock Lesnar on the beast. Eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level gotta increase. Bringing content on a daily. Feeling like Gresh Unleashed.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, baby mamas, baby daddies, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the Gresh Unleashed podcast. This is episode 89 of the show that brings you the good vibes to the best of our abilities. Joining you as always is the voice that does the most, the purveyor of mischief, Gresh, and joining me as always is my main man, my right-hand man, the voice of the Unleashed Anthem and the Prince of Botch himself, Mr. Hi-Lite Real. What's good with your brother? Uh-oh, you muted. My bad. You good.
God dang, Gresh, trying to mute your boy in the start of a show. I was just about to get the crowd riled up and say, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a yeet? You know, kind of thing. But, you know, hey, it's all good.
No yeets. No, I'm just playing. It ain't even that type of part. Yeah, man. You know, another show, literally less than 11 episodes away. Or we are 11 episodes away from 100.
100.
So,
100, baby.
we committed to this at this
go.
point. 100. We might as well be committed to it.
We're going towards 100, hitting it by the end of the year. Yes, sir.
If everything goes according to plan, like the reason I say that because you know some I know we do our end of the year holiday, so as far as this show, but I know I'll probably still be doing stuff with Public Enemies, but as far as us, we'll be on break. I looked at the schedule. We'll likely be on break for Thanksgiving week, and then we'll be back for a couple of weeks, and then end of the year wars, and then break until 2024 February. I believe that's when we usually come back. Because we take December off, and then we take like the beginning of January off, and come back kind of like before, right, like a week before the Royal Rumble, which will be in February.
We should have factored in that WrestleMania break. I noticed that we were the only ones that went during that whole entire stretch. It was hilarious. I was like, only us out of any other content creator. Everybody else was burnt out after Mania. They were like, okay. They took a long little hiatus, and then they came back right around maybe
Like
July.
Backlash?
I want to say it was probably like July. It was a while. It was a while. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
You know?
We did take a break for Mania. How long did we take? Like, what was it, 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
I think
It was a little bit before Backlash.
it might have been. Yeah, you're right.
Because we wanted to basically make sure we was like in a good mental space. Because some people just went balls to the wall and they get burnt out real quick. And I'm like, nah, I want to make sure we take our time with this.
Man, shoot. You think we should break out a week for next week since Bad Blood's in our city, man? I was thinking we should probably take a week off and just kind of give them something to talk about.
Depends on what we do. Like, after, because the show is going to start at the show doors open at 5:30, like around 5:30. Show starts at 6. Like the main show starts at 6, and it's gonna be done by 8. They're gonna give us the rest of the night to do whatever, if we want to.
True that. True that.
Like,
Very true.
Like, fortunately, it's going to be the reason why they're doing that is because they want to be off the air before 10 o'clock because that's when UFC 307 comes on. And I have no idea who's fighting, so I'm not even finna worry about it.
Before 10 o'clock, you say? Yeah, so they totally pushing that to like 9:59.
Probably like 9:30. It's only 5 matches. Well, one more to be confirmed on Friday with Naomi, Bailey, and Nia Jax.
I smell a triple threat.
We all do, brother. We all do. We all do.
Street fight?
But yeah, NXT going on in the background. Nothing much. I fell asleep right at the top. It's been a long day.
I was at work.
I'm always.
So I feel you, brother. I was like, hey, you know what? I'll catch up on it later. I was like, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the reason why. That's the reason why we don't really do the reviews for NXT anymore because sometimes work comes in the way. Sometimes we just be tired.
Yeah. It's all Gucci. Don't worry, we'll give opinions.
Facts. I mean, I think next week is the CW premiere. I'll definitely try to watch it all the way through, and then we'll come on here as is like in the closing stretch, and then give our live reaction to it before we dive into everything going on. So, other than that, I guess it's the part of the show where we chop it up with the fam and just talk about everything that we missed. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, not NXT, Raw, SmackDown, AEW, I guess. You want to talk about SmackDown first, I guess? Anything outside of the obvious that we want to talk about? Because I feel like that's the only thing that is to talk about outside of the women's stuff.
As a production person, how do you feel about these different productional experiments they're doing, such as the perspective from the fans' view of the hot tag, or they've been doing the Jey Uso crowd entrance thing for a minute now. They've done that for a little minute. Yeah, they've been doing that for a minute, but just some of the different experimental things, the very movie trailer-like-esque vignette with Cody and Roman, all of these things that smell Netflix and stuff like that they're trying out here. What are you thinking? Do you like where they're going? Do you miss the Kevin Dunn era any or no? Where you at?
Oh, I definitely don't miss no Kevin Dunn shit. I can tell you that right now. I do not miss that Kevin Dunn stuff. No, sir.
No, Kevin Dunn stuff. Okay.
No Kevin Dunn stuff. No, sir.
To be fair, for its time, his stuff was very, very good. It just got very...
Put it this way. The camera cuts was intriguing for when the Shield debuted. But then he stuck with it.
Yeah.
He should have evolved after that. But he kept with the Shield stuff. So it's more so on him.
That's true. I mean, everybody ages, and sometimes they just don't know when to, call it quits or, like you said, reinvent themselves some kind of way or something. But yeah, I'm interested to see how. So what are your thoughts on what they've been trying to do with some of this new style production?
I mean, I've been doing similar style productions on YouTube when I was back in my gaming days, where I was just doing custom stuff like that. So I'm always an advocate for it because it gives you more freedom to tell the story that you're trying to tell. As far as Cody and Roman being in the Georgia Tech Stadium was a nice touch because it was like, I like the little dialogue that they had back and forth. I mean, you can tell that they was trying to be serious, but certain sound effects was kind of throwing me off because I'm like, the editor in me was catching certain things, and I'm like, they could have turned this sound effect down at least a -5 decibel, stuff like that. But it's more of a nitpick on my end as opposed to anything else. But I actually liked it. Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed the song, like the epic hip hop genre that is pretty much taking over a lot of modern music nowadays. Like shout out to Titus O'Neil for being the voiceover for this particular song, "I Am the Storm," by V.O. Williams. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and then I like the dialogue that they was basically saying. Like Roman was like, "You're in a lose-lose situation. You're dealing with a man who has nothing left to lose." They took Jimmy, they took Paul, my wise man, they took my bloodline, they took my Ulafala. It's just me. And I like the callback that Cody said, "Yo, I told you this the first go around that you're gonna be a chief without a tribe. So am I supposed to be surprised that pretty much your creation has come back to bite you? Because you built this empire up and all it took was one person to take the title from you and you lost everything."
Now, didn't you also call this a long time ago? Just, I'm just saying, I'm here to give a man his props. And I specifically remember you saying this like eons ago, that the most dangerous Roman is a Roman that has nothing to lose. Yeah. Just saying.
I forgot which episode number it was, but yeah, I it sounds like something I would say, because it's like, as somebody who is an avid TV watcher and who's actually in the industry and who's actually currently taking classes and acting and all that stuff, I can tell a character from anything, and it's like, it's a tale as old as time too. A man who spent the better part of 4.5 years as like he felt untouchable, and all it took was one guy or one moment to tear it down, and it was Cody. So now he's like, and that's the intriguing part of this tag match. Is like, will Roman be a man of his word and actually have this man's back, or will he legitimately stab him in the back and go complete rogue? You never know. That's the reason. See, a lot of people don't pay attention to wording. He literally said that by design. He said, you signed yourself up for a lose-lose situation, because you're dealing with people, more specifically me, that has nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. Nothing.
And shout out to him being, this is very The Rock and Stone Cold-esque, with the fact that both of them are pretty much still them, because a lot of people have been speculating like, man, that was very heelish. But, I'm getting some heel seeds from Cody a little bit there, and, with how he was like, hey, I took that from you, kind of thing, or like with the title, and be like, looking at it like, nah, this is, so, pulling it out the card like, oh yeah, I forgot. Let me get something else, and kind of getting under Roman's skin a little bit. You can see it in his face a little bit, but like, I'm like, maybe, but he's still kind of cookie cutter baby face. But Roman's still Roman, and he's a baby face, but he's still the Roman that we remember.
He literally said during his promo, he said, "Hey, yes, a lot of things have changed, but not me." He basically said, "I'm still going to be a dick." Regardless, I'm still an asshole. Regardless,
and that's exactly what we wanted. We did not want the big dog. All due respect, big dog, but we did not want the big dog.
The big dog was good for his time. Mm-hmm. We've moved past the need for the big dog. Mm-hmm. Just saying.
That was the past. Well in the past, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, this interesting dynamic, but not gonna lie to you, brother. Mm-hmm. I got a little side note for SmackDown that I'm intrigued in. Couple people I want to give some flowers to. Some ups, some downs. I want to give some ups to some people. Number one, we were criticizing him quite a bit, but I see now it's that slow burn thing we talk about with Triple H. I finally start to see what they're kind of doing with the guy. And I'm getting this feeling this might be a habit that they do with him and other future feuds of his. Carmelo Hayes, step to the front, sir. You are getting stock ups. You're getting stock ups. I'm starting to see what they were doing with you now. At first it was like, what the heck are they doing with this man? But the confidence has not left this man. He is still talking like Melo talks. I need some more extra stuff added to just, oh yeah, I was the first pick in the draft kind of thing. Still reminds me too much of MVP from back in 07. You know what I'm saying? I need some extra little accolades added under there some kind of way, which I'm sure will come in time somewhere. Won't be Royal Rumble. Sorry, Melo. Not now. Not yet. But maybe King of the Ring. Maybe something. Who knows? You know? But Carmelo Hayes definitely is getting ups because I see now they're doing this series thing with him and Andrade. At this point, it's an NBA series. Best of 7, I'm guessing. And I'm assuming if it goes to a game 7, what is it Melo's known for? When I shoot, I don't miss. Kobe, time to go into Mamba mode. LeBron, time to go in big mode. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. It's on the line. Time to go Jordan. So if him and Andrade running it back one more again, that means I'm assuming Andrade probably wins this one. 3-3. Game 7. Melo got to dominate and go over big time, and just catapults him to maybe.
I think Melo has to win this one because Andrade is 3-2 right now.
Oh, he's 3-2. That's right. He's 3-2.
Yeah. So
Melo
has to win this one to balance it out, and then.
Well, he's got to win 2 straight then.
Yeah.
He's got to win 2 straight. Point blank. Period. In the best of a 7-game series, you climbed out of a 3-0 hole pretty much. I want to say.
I'm intrigued. Like they had none of their matches have been bad, so I can, and I like the fact that their backstage brawl actually felt like a fight too.
It did, bro. It did. Yeah. So I wanted to give him some flowers and give him stock up. Like he's for the SmackDown brand, his stock is rising. Shout out to you and Andrade, you as well. Your stock's rising, brother. But it seems like right now you're kind of catapulting Melo in a sense, and you guys have that chemistry, so I'm not sure still what they're even really doing with you. You seem like you're kind of in that veteran role that's just like elevating talent right now because you did have the U.S. title match and you kind of lost. So I got to give you a slight stock down, but I don't know. We'll see what they're doing with you in the future, Andrade. I mean, you still got the Speed Championship, I think. I don't know. I don't watch Speed, but... You know, I hear it's pretty good. I hear it's pretty good for 3 minutes if you're into it. Pause.
Yeah,
He wasn't expecting that. He was like, oh, dang, you got me. Shoot. Yeah, man. Listen. Okay, so my next stock up. Got to give it to my girl, Mia Yim. Because she has literally been showing her tail off as I knew she would. She's finally got management and creative putting some type of form of like creativity with her, and it seems like her niche is basically these gimmick matches, you know, street fights, dumpster match. That's unique. Haven't seen that in a while. The fact that that's going to be very comedic and epic at the same time.
I think the last one was Braun Strowman versus James Ellsworth.
Yeah,
like 2017.
I think so. Yeah, they said something like that. I want to say, but it was.
I could be wrong. Like it could have been one recently, but I don't know.
We'll say this one's definitely got some story to it because at least it's got like Chelsea's montage of her training was actually
that
hilarious.
Shit was hilarious.
It really was, and I'm just like, okay, cool, you know. And her stock's up too. I'm gonna throw Chelsea Green in there as a stock up because she's running with it, man. They you know, she's being the perfect comedic heel that you can take serious but also kind of be comedic at the same time, and it can work for her in a babyface or a heel role. I love what they're doing with both of these ladies. This is where I'm like, this is where a mid-card title is going to be eventually needed at some point, because I'm not 100% sure if they would ever give the full rocket to Mia Yim or a Chelsea Green in the like world title picture per se. I would hope so in Mia Yim's case, but who knows, right? So I guess if they ever do decide to pull the trigger on a mid-card title for them, these are two candidates right now that I would put in the front runner for that thing for sure.
I guess this would be a nice little segue briefly to talk about. You had mentioned the mid card.
Mm-hmm.
There's rumors about SmackDown going to 3 hours. So
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me given the USA move.
if there's a 3 hour across both shows, I feel like they can create a mid card title. If they don't want to have them brand exclusive, they can have one that floats, like the tag titles.
You know, it's funny because we'll get into that when we get into our talk on Raw. Because I heard, I want to say it was Dave LaGreca or maybe it was Tommy Dreamer. I heard somebody mention the fact of that. Actually, no, it was Bully Ray. He was the one that suggested a TV title for WWE at some point. Like, let that be your workhorse title, which I guess kind of makes sense, but when you have the IC title and the US title, aren't they technically supposed to be those? Because I'm trying to figure out, is there a difference between a TV
title is exclusive to TV, basically weekly TV.
Okay.
Like
so it can change hands on TV versus a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got you. So that would be the TNT and TBS title for AEW. Then.
Basically, if AEW actually went that route, yeah.
They did at first.
They did at first.
Yeah.
It's just another belt.
Okay, fair. Well, do you think that's a good or bad idea if they did do that?
That will require Triple H to actually dedicate booking time for these women across both shows.
Yeah.
Outside of the world title.
I mean, so far so good. Like I said,
so far so good. But I'm just saying, like, he has to be consistent with it because I don't want to run a risk of the growing pains of the tag team titles because the women's tag team titles they're not where they were, but they could also be better if that makes sense.
Yeah, they've been in a way worse. They've gotten a lot better than what they used to be. That's for sure. At least they're actually trying with those titles now versus like way back when it was just like, oh, I forgot y'all were champions. Like, wow.
Oh yeah, like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler or
exact weird bedfellow tag teams like that. Yeah. Yeah, it was just like, huh? Wait, that was Tamina and Natalya. You know what I'm saying? You're like,
yeah.
You see what I'm talking about? Tamina's only title win, and that's the only reason I remember that because it was her.
That's
only
crazy.
Title. It is crazy. That's what I said. I was a whole nother issue.
Aaliyah and
Raquel. And Raquel was always the one doing the boatload of the work. Good God. Wow.
Yeah. They tried with Aaliyah. It's just it ain't for everybody. But SmackDown, yeah. We said at the top of the show, I feel like they should do a triple threat. But they're doing Bayley versus Naomi instead next week. So how we feel about that?
I feel good. I mean, we've seen this before earlier in the year when Bayley was champ. So I personally could still see if Graham were here. I already know what he would be saying right now. So, Graham, I'm going to pause for a moment for my boy Graham because of that shot. But nonetheless, oh boy. Yeah, well, look, man, listen. I feel a triple threat regardless. It's given that effery kind of moment, you know? It just feels like triple threat. Nia Jax is probably gonna interfere in this thing somehow and just be like, bump both of y'all. And then Nick Aldis is like, okay, well, it's gonna be a triple threat, you know. And then of course Tiffany Stratton helps Nia win by teasing yet another cash in, but then she's like, no, I'm here to help you, bestie. And then she helps her out. She retains the title, and they still continue that narrative. So That's what
they are, because it's Triple H booking. It's not gonna be a one and done. He's gonna keep dragging it until maybe like Saturday night's main event, and then cash in.
Yep, it's giving that kind of vibe, man.
Or this is throwing it out there. Just throw it. Like, please don't take my word for it, because I'm not out here basically being a booker. I'm just saying. Or they can continue to tease and they can pivot and have Tiffany cash in on Rhea Ripley after winning the title. Because they still got the leg injury. They could pivot.
That's not a bad
I'm not
idea.
saying it's going to happen, but
it's not a fully bad idea. But I still want to see the one thing that we got teased with last year, and I said, "Dang, that is so smart, so unique, and has never been done before with that cash in." Somebody please tell management, cash in at War Games. Please. It makes sense.
Oh, yeah, because then they tease it with Seth Rollins and Priest.
Yeah. And I was like, pull the trigger then, because I was like, that was so smart. And then they just made him look like a doofus again. Because I would have took that over the WrestleMania cash-in, truth be told.
Yeah.
Because the WrestleMania cash-in was like, well, you just did basically what Seth did.
Yeah.
Y'all basically it's like a 1A, 1B, and in all due respect for Damian Priest, like, it was a good moment for him and all. We were there. Well, we weren't there for that specific moment.
But it was in Philly.
In Philly at that time when that happened. So the thing about it is, cool moment for him. But that's always going to pale in comparison to Seth's moment, because his moment was more original.
Which kind of still annoyed me a little bit, because it's like they went light for night one.
Mm-hmm.
And then went balls to the wall for night two. I'm like, oh, y'all can go to hell.
Yeah. And that was funny, because I was the one, I remember you were like, hey, what should we do, night one or night two? And I was like, well, historically, night ones have been better, and that was not a lie. That was usually the truth. Night one usually was better, but to some degree.
I think they wasn't prepared for that cold. I feel like it would have been better if it wasn't so freaking cold. And then it got hot the very next day, and I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding
me. Yeah, I know, bro. And the worst part about it all is just, it was like, well, at least we got to see The Rock wrestle.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. Like that was my first time watching Rock live.
Mm-hmm. I was like, hey, I'll take that. That's a win. You know what I mean? So
yeah, there's always a silver lining in BS. So we chose the silver lining on that. But yeah, I definitely see a triple threat with this one. What's your thoughts on Kevin Owens getting involved in this bloodline story?
I'm tired of it.
Like, I saw someone on Twitter say basically you're going to get Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton versus the Bloodline at War Games. Do you see that, Rob?
Oh, man. That's going to disappoint so many of those fantasy bookers if that happens. I swear on everything it is. But I will say, based off a rumor, I'm sure you heard the rumor about Mr. Fatu.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he ain't ready. So I'm pretty sure that's not what it usually means it is when that happens.
You talking about Zilla?
Yeah.
And he ain't been a thought of coming to WWE. That man is not ready. What is everybody's obsession with this man coming to WWE?
No, because apparently he,
Oh, he fell out with GCW. Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And everybody thought that meant, like, usually when you get pulled from a lot of shows, that usually means that, like, you have a...
Nah, he's still taking bookings. He just pulled from GCW. Like, it was reportedly because of money.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing too. It said something about... Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? Like, money is money, whether it was money or backstage issues with his attitude, supposedly, I don't know how he would have that. He seems cool as hell. But
My thing is like if if it was just backstage in attitude, GCW wouldn't have pulled him because they've covered and protected far worse people over there. So,
yeah, you got that right. We saw some of them people. Trust me.
Like, I doubt it was attitude. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if it was money, hey man, if you feel like you weren't paid your worth, do what you got to do. But at the same time, I wouldn't be advocating burning bridges because you never know if you might need them in the future.
That is so true, bro. Well, all that to say, that was never my obsession like everybody else as far as put him
I
in the
never got
bloodline.
that. It's like
People
these are
just,
the same people who are obsessing with Zilla making his debut are the same ones that be still giving Solo flack for being Solo.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, bro. Y'all over here talking about Solo ain't ready, but then now you want Zilla in here, and he's more not ready than supposed Solo. And we both have given Solo flowers of like, do you not see the dramatic improvement? But everybody wants to talk about the in-ring, and I'm like, he's a Samoan. There's only so many movesets they're gonna do. Hello.
They're all gonna do the Samoan drop. They're all gonna do the super kick. They're all gonna do the top rope splash. The reason why we love Jacob more than most is because he alternates.
Yeah. Exactly.
Than the regular ones. Yeah. He does a senton. He does a whisper in the wind. Mm-hmm. He does what's it that execution? The DDT, that draping DDT. Mm-hmm. He flips it around. Like we will always show like put Jacob above the rest.
Yeah.
That's just us.
People gotta understand, man. Samoans have their own set of arsenals that are always rinse and repeat. But they make it work because of the aura and who they are. And they're over because they always have a character that stands out. It's either their look, their charisma, their character, or all of the above.
Yeah.
All of them can wrestle, but the movesets are usually going to be just about the same. Hence why
they wrestle better than me, put it that way. So
exactly.
That's why I never understood this person can't wrestle and this, that. I'm like, you go take a bump. Most of y'all gonna throw up in training. So shut the fuck up.
And that goes for people who talk about people like Omos or you know what? Great Khali is a whole different story. I'm not gonna go there.
Great Khali was good before he went to WWE, before his knees got bad. Because I saw a couple of clips and like lost footage of him in Japan, and that man was leaping over top ropes. With ease. Yeah. So
I gotta look up some of that footage. Oh snap! I want to see that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look up Great Khali in Japan and see that man make his entrance. That man leaped over the top rope. I'm like, oh, where was this Great Khali in WWE?
But yeah, bro. I mean, overall,
as far as that bloodline, that, and it's like,
it's not as appealing, just probably because Randy Orton's dealt with the bloodline so many times. KO's dealt with him so many times. Cody's freaking attached to him and can't escape him, for crying out loud.
That's his own choosing, because that nigga had an out.
I heard
he decided to come back.
That is true, but I heard some content creators actually talk about this once, and they mentioned, what exactly is Cody Rhodes without the bloodline?
The Codyverse. People who watch him in AEW know. If you know, you know. Look up the Codyverse in AEW. That's what Cody is without the bloodline.
The Codyverse.
And that's what the Codyverse is what Cody is without the Elite too. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
wow.
If he's not attached to a faction in some way, shape, or form, the Codyverse is what Cody Rhodes is without the bloodline and without the Elite.
You're gonna have me look that up now, brother. Okay.
Bruh, you was watching it. Basically, remember his entire TNT reign and his feud with Anthony Ogogo in AEW with the whole the feud with Andrade with the flaming table spot. That is literally the Codyverse.
Oh, where he's just doing random wrestling,
random
old
shit.
school.
That's the Codyverse. That's Cody Rhodes without the bloodline.
Oh,
Cody Rhodes
okay.
without the elite.
So what you're telling me is somewhere he's wrestling AJ Francis out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
He's I don't know
he's wrestling Obafemi for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
That's the Codyverse. So it's like I'm trying to see people are bashing Cody within the bloodline, but it's like as long as he's WWE champion, if he does not have the bloodline, we're going to be going into the Codyverse territory where nothing will make sense. Nothing will happen for any particular reason other than just to have Cody on the show. So you might want to keep him at the top. Priority story.
Like him and Kevin Owens deciding to just, I'm out. Who shall I face next? I know. I'm going to give Kevin Owens a title shot. Huh?
Mm-hmm. The Codyverse.
That. So, based off your logic and what you just said, that means while Roman's away for a minute and Solo's trying to work his way back up, Lord knows, God forbid, that would mean he's going to go on a side quest. He's probably going to wrestle LA Knight randomly somewhere because he wants that match. Probably. Yeah, because he really wants that match, or supposedly. We're gonna get everything but him and Randy Orton, definitely.
Yeah. Now with this, if they do go to enemy of my enemy, like the enemy, like type story with Cody, Roman, KO, and Randy, they can literally use this as a way for Randy to turn on Cody and start that story into the new year, because you know how they've been like slowly but surely teasing Roman versus Cody 3. I think I listened to Solomonster, and he basically brought up the idea of Cody versus Roman 3 at Saturday night's main event.
It's not a bad rap. I think I also heard somebody give a similar take on something like that. It's not a bad idea for real. Because they were saying, that idea being floated around would make some sense. Because, I mean, hey, why not run it back one good time? And it's going to sell your tickets, sell that arena out. And it's going to be throwback, which means Cody's going to do his throwback Codyverse things.
Random interference and
Saturday night's main event, too? Come on, brother.
He's going to want to do a table spot. Just don't let him set it on fire, okay? Just don't let him set it on fire. They said they hate that. That's kind of true. Hey man, that's why I laugh when people be like, "Oh, you don't pay attention to the product." I watch AEW and WWE. I remember things. I was there for most of those things too when it came to Atlanta. It was one time I wasn't there, but he was long gone since then. That might be too big for Saturday Night Live. That's the thing about. Yes and no. Also, keep in mind they're not doing any more pay-per-views after Survivor Series. The next thing is Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, and you gotta also remember Saturday night's main event, like OG Saturday night's main event, had the biggest names on those cards. Wrestling marquee matches.
Wasn't the 2-man power trip formed on Saturday night's main event? If I'm not mistaken,
I do believe so. Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Saturday night's main event outside of that 2006 and 2008 period was a staple for big moments. So what bigger moment than Roman versus Cody 3?
At least with those.
If not Randy versus Cody. One of those two.
I will say, at least with those, I will say this though. The 2006 and 2008 mark still had the big names on the cards.
Yeah, it was kind of all over the place, but yeah, it was still big names.
True. True. You know, I'm just saying from a you know, they still packed out the house because of a John Cena. A Randy
Wasn't it?
Orton,
Didn't they have
Batista.
John Cena versus Edge for the title on the Saturday Night's main event?
John Cena versus Edge.
It was a battle of the WrestleMania main events. It was like John Cena and Triple H versus Orton, Rey Mysterio, and Kurt Angle.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You know,
they pack out those shows, so it's like if Roman versus Cody 3 is not a Mania type caliber rematch, Saturday Night's main event or SummerSlam is your best bet.
And then there's a couple of things you can do with that for Cody with Saturday Night's main event, because you can pull the Randy Orton trigger there if you want. Do it there. You can do Cody versus CM Punk in some kind of weird crossover kind of thing if they want. They can do that.
Yeah, it's more so basically utilize Saturday Night's main event. That can be their place of big moments, dream matches, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, it's not going to diminish anything. Like, it's like, and I feel like if they want to rush Cody versus Roman 3, that could be the best place to do it. Make it a big deal and move on to whatever you want to go. You want to separate the bloodline officially after that. I mean, the bloodline from Cody after that, by all means. But I'm just saying, either that or we're going to sit through Cody versus Roman 3 at another WrestleMania. And I doubt people want to do that again.
Well,
like, you got to let it breathe. You got to let it breathe.
Speaking of the bloodline, then, this probably is a good segue going into Monday Night Raw. Because
sure,
I've got to ask then, did the bloodline storyline just become that much more interesting now after what just happened on Monday Night Raw?
Are you talking about with the new Intercontinental Champion?
Well, because as I heard Dave LaGreca and them talk about, you know, the cool, interesting, and well, there's a couple things I'm going to bring to the table about this, but one, I'm going to bring up Dave LaGreca's point on this title situation. One, now, well, actually, no, it wasn't Dave LaGreca. This was Wrestling Inc. So what they mentioned was, well, now Jey Uso kind of has a case on if Roman ever approached him about needing his help in being a bloodline, it'd be like, you said I wasn't going to be anything without you, but I won my championship, my first singles championship without you, homie. I don't need you. You need me, Playboy. You need me. Yeet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got the fans on my side. I'm selling out arenas. They chanting yeet everywhere I go. And I'm the Aussie champ.
I got the goth baddie on my shoulder.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, bruh, Jey Uso is on top of the world right now, cuz. Now, right, you know, to be fair, Roman can make a case and he can be cocky if he wanted and be like, well, you know.
He's going to be cocky. That's the thing. This is like, there's no.
Because he could be like, you know, you right, Us. You right. But don't forget who nicknamed you main event Jey Uso. So
it was me.
I did. You know. The only thing is, Jay ain't got to be afraid no more. You know what I'm saying? You know?
I know how Roman would do this. He'd be like, you wouldn't be Intercontinental Champion if I didn't lead you to the promised land. If I didn't lead you to be one of the greatest tag team champions of all time.
Come on.
You wouldn't be the greatest tag team champion of all time if I didn't make you my right-hand man. And if I didn't make you my right-hand man, you would still be, which twin are you? So you're welcome.
Come on now. Look, this is why I'm saying, listen. Dog, I want you to think about this, bro. You know what's so wild about all of this? I want you to think about this now. Solo, sir, you say you the tribal chief, but you failed to win the championship when it mattered most twice. Meanwhile, the brother that you didn't take out just won a championship. So technically, by the way, this is a real technical. Jey Uso's really the tribal chief, people. Technically, Roman is the guy he pinned, okay? He was the first person to pin Roman, okay? Not you, Cody. It was Jey. 2, Roman, what's up? Roman literally had to acknowledge Jey Uso on a SmackDown, okay? So, technically, he put the Ulafala on him.
He got a blue Ulafala.
He does. So, technically, Jey Uso's the real tribal chief right now.
He has a claim to the throne because did you not say the reason why Roman failed without the title, he's no longer the head of the table, the tribal chief. Mm-hmm. Neither one of y'all have a title.
But this man, on the other hand, not only did he win a title, he beat a member of some other family that has never come in contact with y'all family. And as he said, no one from your family has ever beaten anyone from my family. Well, guess what, Playboy? That just happened as of last night. That, to me, smells tribal freaking chief. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeet.
Oh, knowing Jey, tribal freaking yeet.
but on the real, man. There's a lot of things I want to say to express in this moment. For real. Like,
go for it.
Number one, I was listening to David Breakker and them also kind of talk about this point of the shock value, because a lot of people probably didn't realistically think that was going to happen so soon the way it did. Like, they figured it was going to be like some kind of F finish, set it for down the line kind of thing. But what they appreciated was the element of surprise. Like the fact that a title changed hands on television for free, but also, not only did it change hands, but it set a moment of, like, Bully Ray was mentioning, like, he wants WWE to really go back to that moniker of anything can happen in the WWE from a night-to-night basis. Think about it. They're as hot as they've ever been since, like, the Attitude Era, where their crowds are organically making these noises. It's not piped, none of that. It's organic. You can feel the energy. You see the signs making comebacks like crazy. Everything. Selling out all across the nation. So imagine now saying, man, you know what? Because I agree. Like, Bully was mentioning, he was preaching on this one, because he was like, we don't need the long title reigns. And I remember I told you this, matter of fact. I said the same thing. I don't want Gunther to have that World Heavyweight title for a long time like he had that IC title. Heck no. I want to see that man lose that thing within a matter of months. I would love for it to have been Sammy again. But it's okay. That ain't clearly going to happen since they want to jump to that so quickly, because I guess they have no other challengers for him right now. But I don't want to see that man have that title for a full year. You're not going to rinse and repeat what you did with Roman with somebody like Gunther, okay? He's already kind of done that twice, okay? Because you got to count the times he did it in NXT UK too. You know what I mean? So Gunther doesn't need a long title reign. He's already prestigious. His aura is prestigious. Trust me, that title is fine. That title...
He rarely loses.
Exactly. And that title has gotten prestige probably since after Seth turned it from workhorse second place title to, right around the time when Priest won it to, now. It's like that title ain't secondary no more. You get what I'm saying? So, like, basically, I wanted to really just put it like this. I love that moniker of, like, anything can happen. I like the fact I remember these type of vibes of missing title changes on a Monday Night Raw and not just having to wait for a pay-per-view for a title change. I liked when you could see that. Like, I think about when Kane beat Stone Cold Steve Austin in the first blood match. Yes, it was with help from his brother Taker. But what happened? The next night, it was a title match. A rematch with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And what happened? Austin won it back the next day. A title change. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Happened on a random, well, not really a random, but it happened on Monday Night Raw. Literally the next night. So it's like the fans that were at that pay-per-view got to see something. And then the fans that were at that Monday Night Raw got to see their hero win that title back.
Yeah.
And so, like, we haven't had stuff like that in a while. So I thought that's really cool to see. And I would love to see that with every title, from the women's titles, tag titles, the you name it. I want to see. Shoot, Judgment Day should have been lost these titles by now. I don't know why they're even still champions, to be honest, right now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, can we keep doing more of this and switching it up? Seriously.
It's like you could literally put that on anybody else.
Yeah, seriously.
But
let's switch that up. Let's switch that up, man, because I like this unexpected, expect the unexpected kind of thing. I'm loving that right now with what I'm seeing. But the next matter of business, real quick, I just wanted to address is I'm so happy for Jey Uso. So, Rikishi, sir, can you now be quiet, please? Because, dog, I don't know if they did this because you kept running your mouth about it, or if you know, I hope it's just because they planned on doing this and he deserved it. Fans that are, if you're a Bron Breakker fan, don't freak out, okay? Trust me. This, I'm glad this happened and needed to happen. He gonna be fine too, because he's definitely gonna be world champion sooner than later. All right, that man is catapulting quicker than a freaking nut on a Sunday night. God dang it. So trust me, he gonna be good. That man is gonna be good. Don't.
You know what annoys me about these people with this beef, this thing with Jey Uso? It's only online. It is only online. The reason why I say that, because when that spear and that Uso splash, the way these people be acting online is like Jey hit a spear, Uso splash, and was done. Bron Breakker got cocky during the entire match. They told a story. You know, the story. Where's the story, merchant? Here's your story. Mm-hmm. They told a story. Bron Breakker got cocky. If you want to go back in time, when Bron Breakker faced Sami Zayn the first time, why did he lose? He got cocky, and he came back and won it because he focused. He literally did the same thing against Jey because he underestimated Jey. Let's just keep it a spade a spade. You hate Jey Uso, and it's okay. Like, you don't have to say this guy is terrible, this guy sucks. You let two horrible matches, and I wouldn't even say horrible, two underwhelming matches ruin your perspective of Jey Uso as a singles wrestler. And that was him versus Roman at SummerSlam last year. Was it a great match? No. Was it a bad match? No. It just didn't live up to the hype of the tagline. Fast forward. You let his match with Jimmy, which annoyed me in person. I'm pretty sure it annoyed you as well. It was cold. It was spamming super kicks like it was a punch left and right. It annoyed us. You let those two duds dictate how Jey Uso is as a wrestler. And let's just keep it a spade. You hate Jey Uso, but you should never shape your mouth to say he is a terrible wrestler unless you step in that ring yourself. Point blank, period. Because it's like, who are you to say that this person is terrible? And it's like, I think I read somewhere where someone said they put the workhorse title on someone who is one of the worst workers in wrestling history. And did you forget that Ultimate Warrior existed? Did you forget who else was terrible but got over because they was hated? I wouldn't say the Honky Tonk Man because I never really watched his work, but there's a few wrestlers that was kind of terrible
He kind of falls in that category.
He kind of falls in that category. That's what I'm saying. I never watched his work, so I couldn't tell you. But there's a plethora of terrible workers.
Give me about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna be able to let you know that in just a second. Watch this.
Okay, I'm gonna keep talking, but as long as I got to say it, yeah, I'm gonna keep talking. But I'm just saying, like, y'all keep saying this man is terrible, but it's like, no. Every time they give him the ball to step up. Ever since that match against Jimmy in April, it is September. In April, he has knocked it out of the park. You're just being disingenuous at this point. You're being facetious at this point.
Let's look at this list of champions. See,
you about to pull it up?
Oh yeah. Let's start.
Y'all keep shaping y'all mouth to say, "Oh, this dude." Y'all put the workhorse title on one of the worst workers in wrestling history. But I'm like, I could have sworn we've seen far worse.
So let's see. I'm just gonna name some names here. Okay. Marty Jannetty was a pretty solid worker. I won't bring him up.
He just had demons.
What would you say about Razor Ramon? Was he a solid worker or was he just?
I enjoyed him.
I enjoyed him too. Diesel. What would you say about Diesel? Solid or
solid? Like decent.
Okay.
Decent depending on the opponent.
Okay. Let's see. Dean Douglas. Has anybody even heard of him?
Shane Franchise.
Franchise. Okay, well then, yeah, Franchise was a good worker. Okay, that was. Here's one. I got one for you people. How about Ahmed Johnson? Y'all remember that guy? Yeah. Talk about Jey Uso all you want to. Yeah, exactly. Go look up Ahmed Johnson if you don't know about him and you a youngin'. Okay, go look him up. Matter of fact, go look at shoot interviews with him and Farouk and Mark Henry, and trust me, you gonna find out all about Mr. Ahmed Johnson. Okay, trust me. Me.
I ain't heard that name in a while, and I think that's by design because that nigga suck.
Okay. All right. Going down the line some more when we talk about workers. All right. You got Stone Cold and The Rock. They've been Intercontinental Champions. Okay. We know those were catapults for them just getting to the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Championship pictures. Right. So say what you will about them in terms of when you compare them to the Macho Mans and the workers. Right. They were characters. Much like Jey Uso, they were characters. They got over with fans. But they were
That's my thing. I think that's what my gripe is. It's like people assume that just because someone can go bell to bell, that they're a great worker. There's more to wrestling.
Now we're really finna get into it. Val Venus. Road Dogg. Godfather? Do I need to keep going? Do I need to keep going, y'all? I mean, seriously. Okay. I mean, all due respect, it depends on how you feel. China, depending on. Steve Blackman was kind of decent. He was decent. He was decent.
I'm saying it was decent, but it's like.
Oh, Albert. Matt Bloom, for those of you who don't know. A-Train.
Lord Tensai.
That man was Intercontinental Champion, okay? I'm just going down the line here. Test, depending on how you feel about Test. Test actually was underrated. He could move for big, but again, it depends on how you view how Test was. Some people weren't always Test fans. Now, when I go down the rest of this list from the Eddie Guerreros, the Chris Benoits, the Rob Van Dams, those are workers. So you knew, okay? Mm-hmm. Kane, also an underrated worker. That depends. Big man worker. So a little different. But again, depends on how you put it. Shoot. After that, I mean, it's Randy Orton, it's Christian, it's Booker T, workers.
Solid workers. That's what I'm saying.
Carlito.
So it's like.
Ric Flair.
That's what I'm saying. Like that whole discourse is disingenuous because it's like we're
And
not finna act like
Breakker, and he was Intercontinental Champion. So
that's what I'm saying.
again,
Like,
if you're crapping on Jey Uso, that means you're crapping on Umaga. Keep that in mind, people. Same bloodline.
that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get at. They're not crapping on these people because they're being disingenuous. Because it's like we have a mixed bag of people. The people who we see as bad workers from a fan's perspective was over with the crowd. Hate them now, but Val Venus was over with the horny teenagers back then.
Okay.
Hate him now, but the Ultimate Warrior was over with whoever was watching back then. Me, I was more of a Randy Savage kind of guy when I saw old clips. I never cared for Ultimate Warrior.
You know what's funny? Okay, I'm going to add to that point because I brought up Ahmed Johnson. I know we laughed. But believe it or not, back then, he was actually very over with those fans, too. Now, a guy I'm about to bring up who was not over and won the Intercontinental Champion. I hate to put my brothers under the bus, but I got to do this. Aziz, people.
To be fair, around that time, nobody was over.
Wade Barrett? Because Wade Barrett had it before he did.
That brother was buried by Johnson. Keep it a fuck. Like, nobody cared about Wade Barrett until he became bad news.
Well, it's funny you say that because he won it as bad news, like literally a few
saying.
years later.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people.
Okay. Curtis
people
Axel.
stop. Ooh.
Yeah. Curtis Axel. Yeah, and that was when they tried to make him a Paul Heyman guy at that time. Remember that?
They tried to make him his daddy, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, but they added the Paul Heyman vibe to it too.
Oh yeah, he was.
That's what I'm saying.
Paul Heyman did extend his repertoire after CM Punk. It was what Curtis Axel and Ryback.
I know he regrets every bit of that. Specifically with Ryback. Curtis Axel don't deserve that, but Ryback, I know he regrets that one. Oh my!
And this Curtis Axel was solid too. That's what I'm saying. Like people, I'm calling out people who only stops at in ring, and they're ignoring the fact like, hey, this guy is over with the crowd. Hey, this guy is. You want to bring up numbers for those who like to bring up numbers for some reason. That is not lining your pockets. You want to bring up numbers. Jey Uso is a top merch seller. Why does the workhorse stop at in ring when the bell rings? Like, there's a reason. There's a reason why feel good moments exist. This was a feel good moment. So if like it's disingenuous, and it's like it's at that point now where I'm like every time I see someone who's never taken a bump, who's never survived a wrestling training, or who don't know how to cut a promo to save their life, or who don't even know how to speak clearly without looking at a piece of paper, needs to shut the hell up. Because you're not being genuine with it. You just hate Jey Uso, and it's like the funny thing is with that, if you hate Jey Uso, that is okay, but do not disguise it under the fact that, oh my God, this is setting the wrestling business back. How are you going to bury Bron Breakker? Bron Breakker still looked good. If you actually pay attention, they was telling the story. Bron Breakker got cocky, and it bit him in the face. Super kick when he was doing his super spear. Spear through the barricade. Shout out to Roman Reigns. Uso splash. Spear. Uso splash. He did not lose to one finisher. He lost to multiple.
Yeah, man. I mean,
congratulations, Jey Uso.
Congratulations.
Last thing I'm gonna say.
Before we move on, man, what I was gonna continually say to, before we kind of got into our passionate IC title and the fans situation. All right, first off, I want to talk about Jimmy Uso for a brief sec. And I want to say that, obviously, if there's someone connected to the Usos, or I doubt he comes across this, but I just want to say I pray for that brother, not because Rikishi said to, even though we should, but I'm saying prayerfully, everything is going great with him. I'm sure he's celebrating his brother in this moment. But I do hope, Jimmy, that you too get your own moment when the time is right before you two decide to reunite as the Usos. Because you are not a Marty Jannetty. I hate that narrative that they try to put on tag teams. At the end of the day, Jimmy, if you don't end up getting a singles title, the U.S. title or the IC title or something in the future, trust me when I say it does not take away from the fact that you are and you will be a certified Hall of Famer regardless. Like, the Usos are goated. Goated. Okay? So, at the end of the day, let this not be a moment of depression. If anything, I hope it's like celebration and a moment of motivation to say, okay, you know what? When I come back, watch what I do and watch what I do to impress the fans and get creative behind me and get my own opportunity at some world championships or something like that and get his moment. So I pray that Jimmy Uso does get his moment in the future for sure, whenever it happens. But it's kind of reminded me of the New Day dynamic, you know, like what they're telling with that story of Xavier Woods and Kofi, which we'll get to because that's also interesting. But the last thing I'm going to say in regards to this entire situation is that I am very, very excited to see just what this does with the bloodline next, for real, because this is going to be a very interesting chapter point, you know, because, again, at some point, this is going to get some, like, I would love to see some type of crossover here at some point. Like, I don't know how, because I would love, selfishly, to have seen this moment here in Atlanta with us. Out selfishly.
That's another thing I wanted. Like, a lot of people was like, Braun should win the title back at Bad Blood. If you think Triple H is gonna stop his 5-match card routine, it's not happening. If anything, if it is a short title reign, it'll happen on Raw.
Yeah. And it won't be like next week. It'll be like literally like that Bad Blood after or something like that.
If it were to happen, yeah.
Yeah, like they'll set that up. But all in all, this is highly deserved. I love
14 years.
Crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And I remember when they debuted. Like, that's how long I've been watching this.
Yes, me too, bro. Me too. Well overdue. That's why I'm also hoping Jimmy gets his moment, because it's cool to see, like, Tamina got her moment. I was happy for her. When we talked about that, I know it was like a random pairing, but the fact that she got her moment to win some type of gold was really, really cool. And she deserved that from her debut with the Usos. Now, seeing Jey since that moment, it's really cool to see. Same thing, like I said, if Jimmy gets his moment, I believe he will. And I can't wait for that moment whenever they decide to bring it into fray. But, yeah, man, all in all, this is going to be very interesting these next few weeks to see what type of story they tell. But this is the transition, because I have a theory with Jey Uso being champion. I don't think Bron is going to be the one to take that title off of him.
Who you have in mind?
Sir, walk with me for a second. We have virtually, yes, walk with me for a second. Now, this is a perfect transition to another tag team here that has been around. Speaking of 14 years, they've been around just about around the same time as far as a group for about 10 years now. Enter into the world of the New Day and enter into the world of Mr. Xavier Austin Creed Woods. Okay? Now, as we saw, this man got very riled up when Rey Mysterio was just simply trying to have a smooth conversation with him, conflict-free. Fresh off of a loss, need I mind you. Xavier Woods has been like, hey, man, we got to be serious. You know, we've been in this thing a long time, but we've been losing and this and that. But it's like, instead of becoming about we, the narrative is it's about me, really, because it's now eating him alive on the inside that he hasn't been a singles champion. Now, pivoting back to Jey Uso for a second, because that helped me remember this thought before I get back to this thought. What I didn't like was commentary putting that narrative over like, Jey Uso, he hasn't been able to get it done, winning titles, this and that. You know, and I'm like, yeah, he's lost, but let's not act like every time he fought somebody for a title, there wasn't interference in the process, okay? Need I mind you, Roman beat him like half crazy to where his brother threw the towel in the first time, okay? Second time, brother got involved, and he was forced to say, I quit, because Roman pulled some punk-ish. Smart, but it was smooth, you know what I'm saying? I get it. Make him submit by taking his other half and making him say, I quit with this guillotine. Fast forward to the SummerSlam we were at. Jimmy decides to be, out of jealousy, cost him that title. All right, we can go down the list here. Even the recent one that he had with Damian Priest, okay? Despite Priest wanting to do that one-on-one, who still got involved? The freaking Judgment Day, okay? So at the end of the day, let's not act like all of these defeats, okay? No interference, no nothing. This was one-on-one. So now, pivoting back to Mr. Xavier Woods here. I find it interesting that the same narrative they just told about Jey Uso here, now that he's finally accomplished that, now we have to point the same narrative now to Mr. Woods, who seems to be eating the inside like, I'm the only one that hasn't won singles gold. Won singles gold. Kofi's won singles gold. But me, on the other hand, I'm just like this third wheel. I'm not okay with that. And he's like a man who's sensing that desperate feel of like, I've got to do something now because time is ticking for me. I can't retire with the New Day and be the third wheel that is just, oh yeah, you were a part of a great faction, but individually, man, what did you do? You just won King of the Ring. And that didn't, really fare too well for him. Now, did it? It did for all of them. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So all I'm saying is, enter the fact that I think a heel Xavier, a motivated, desperate heel Xavier Woods will be the one to dethrone Jey Uso for that very Intercontinental Championship, which also renews a rivalry that they already have from their tag team pasts. So they have the chemistry where they can actually make this work on a one-on-one sense. Therefore, it dawned on me the moment I realized Jey Uso won that Intercontinental title, because it had to sink in for a moment. I was like, wow, this is real. He won the IC title. Oh, crap. And then I see the narrative of what Xavier Woods is doing, and I'm saying, oh, crap. What if because if you look at the list of all the other champions now, think about it, okay? He ain't beating Cody, all right? He ain't beating Gunther.
Nope.
Okay? He ain't beating LA Knight.
Nope.
So what does that leave? Oh, Jey Uso. They have history. If there was anyone realistically he could beat, and talk about the heat he would get too. He would get so much heat because he would get heat for defeating the Yeet. I had to do that. Sorry, I had to do it. The rapper in me just couldn't help it. I had to do it. Josh was like, God dang it, you got me again. But yo, chat, tell me I'm telling the truth though. Can y'all realistically see that?
If they keep him champion past a month, I can see that direction. If not, Survivor Series, which would be the 10-year. Saturday Night's Main Event. Like, make that show a big freaking deal.
Yeah.
Because it's the first Saturday Night's Main Event since 2008.
It screams Xavier Woods. Like, the way my booking mind's thinking.
Because isn't November 10-year?
I believe so. It was either October or November. It's approaching one of those.
What better way to solidify that than by him winning the title? But would you? Let me ask you this: would you have him win the title and then turn heel? Like in a selfish, like Bobby Roode it factor type thing? Or would you have him lose the first go round, snap, and then win it?
That's a good thought, bro. I'm actually not mad at either one of those outcomes, but if I had to say, truthfully, I would probably have him. Yeah, probably lose, snap, and then win it because that's
Okay.
been the trend as of late. It seems like every time they lose, he gets angrier. When they
True.
lost last week, he blew up.
Or they can pivot in the middle of the match. Kind of like, the Hardy Wrestling Podcast said I would have him turn heel then win the title like Becky did on Charlotte.
Good point. I like that Hardy podcast. I like good thinking. Good thinking. Wouldn't have the effect that the Charlotte Becky one had because that backfired on them, where they actually loved that. If Austin Creed goes heel, for a fact, gonna be like, yeah, there'll be some people probably cheering because they're happy for him in that, but universally he'll get the heat, especially because it's Jey Uso.
I can see, like, I kind of see what you said. I can see him lose. The New Day comfort him, kind of like bring Big E back for the emotional support, comfort him, and then he snap on Kofi and start blaming him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he wins the title by cheating. Kind of like, say Roman, it will be a similar finish to Becky and Charlotte. Jay goes for the spear, Woods ducks, roll him up, and grabs the tights and steals it. Tight beat.
Yeah, I mean, however they would want to do it, I'm with it because I can just see him. He would be that snarky, like, because he's mad intelligent. So he's one of those. Remember how we talked about Keith Lee? I think we talked about that once with him, like what type of heel he would make so greatly because of how smart he is. Well, if there's anyone that can give that exact same vision, it's him. Because that's Mr. PhD. Yeah, that's Mr. PhD. And he can most certainly give you an ounce. I think he'll give you a nice balance of, like, it'll be serious, but it'll be like comedy serious too. Where there
You
might
can tell
be
the direction they're going because you saw they brought back the Booty-O's and this big shit. Like they're doing callbacks for a reason. That's Triple H's booking and his subtleness that he likes to go with his booking. So yeah, I mean it's unfortunate. Like one thing about New Day, that's what I'm saying. I hope they bring back Big E for this inevitable turn for the emotional support. Not saying he has to get physical because like we're not even going to touch that until we know for sure that he's good to take a bump or whatever. But it's like he for the like that emotional pop when he finally gets that title match, and Big E pops into the show, into the frame, and he's like, okay, let's go out there together and get you this title. He lose. He blames them just because out of frustration, and he finally snaps on Kofi because Kofi can take the bumps.
Yeah.
And then he stares down Big E, yelling at him, and then walks away. End of New Day. Oop, hit my mic. End of New Day.
I like it, man. It the kids loved New Day, so it breaks the hearts of the kids out there.
Hardy Wrestling Podcast. My wild card will be what if Big E comes back to be Kofi's recovered muscle, and Xavier will be a face fighting him. That'll be an interesting what if in the future. Either way, we're going to end up with this is going to be, we're counting down the days to the end of the new day. And it's like, instead of harping on saying, oh my God, keep them together, we can just reminisce on what they've done.
Yeah.
As a faction.
Absolutely.
Like, their WrestleMania interests is top notch, crazy. Their longest reigning titles in the history of the business, one of the longest reigns. If not the. Did someone break it?
The Usos.
Ah, yeah, the Usos. Second longest reigning in the history of the WWE. Kofi Kingston, Kofi Mania, WWE champion, as a member of the New Day. Big E, cash in. Even though they tried to separate him from the New Day, but you could never separate the New Day. They just put them on separate brands. Big E, Money in the Bank, WWE champion. Hey, they can go. They're going down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, factions in WWE wrestling history. Because let's keep in mind, they've crossed multiple companies. Like, their brief interactions with the Elite, or not the Elite, Kenny Omega, for Up Up Down Down, the gaming. Like, that's some of their best work. And it all ties to the New Day. So, kudos to this, and I'm interested in where they go with this. Anything else happen on Raw?
One last thing I'll for sure say.
Yeah.
I can't wait, even though I'm not a fan of this, because you know where I'm going. I prefer my lady versions of this. But I ain't gonna lie. King Kong versus Godzilla is definitely something that's got me intrigued. Now, this is what, King Kong versus Godzilla came out at the wrong time, because if there was ever a perfect time to sponsor the latest movie, it would have been this feud. This would have been the perfect way to sponsor that movie. Warner Brothers, if you would have just waited, or Universal, I think that's Warner Brothers, whatever studios does it, this would have been the perfect moment to release that movie, because then you could have been like, oh, yeah, let's do some promo marketing around this, show them going through buildings as you're showing Godzilla and King Kong going through buildings. It would have been masterful,
Yeah, because they started the show going crazy.
Yeah, showing him getting squashed through a car again. You could have shown different things you could put to that. But at the end of the day, this to me should have been a Bad Blood card match, and I'm kind of bummed out that it's not, because that would have been really good to see in person. Not gonna lie. Just because we got some ladies that'll be with us, and I would have loved to have seen how they would have reacted to two big, beefy men just like colliding like freaking cars, just it would have been like pause, but still, it's just you see, that's why I don't do this. That's why I don't do this. But you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
I'm the one that's supposed to be out of pocket. Okay.
Okay, funny. All right. You got me. Hey, man.
I get it, though.
Nonetheless.
But this is actually pretty exciting. Now, one thing that I am ready for them to be done with is Dom, Rhea, and Liv.
Shark Cage. That's going to be so annoying. That's one match type I never liked either. I don't understand it.
Wasn't the last one, someone literally brought it back to my brain. The last one was Oscar versus Carmella with James Ellsworth.
Oh, I thought it was Enzo.
No.
Because he was in a shark cage too.
He was. It was Big Cass versus Big Show with Enzo in the cage.
What the freak? Wow. What a dark day that was, man.
And then they brought it back during the Oscar versus Carmella feud for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and James Ellsworth was suspended above the cage.
Wow.
And he still affected the outcome. So basically, the shark cage means nothing. I remember they did one with Chris Jericho during Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns.
That's what I'm saying.
105,000.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, these are getting out of, I guess. Good God.
The only way I will accept this is if they actually let Rhea and Liv actually wrestle.
I'm sure they will.
But at the same time, I'm talking about without interference, but then knowing them, somebody is debuting or returning on behalf of Liv. Because then I think I texted you, I said it's one or two ways this is going to happen. Raquel is going to return. I don't know why, but Raquel is going to return. Or because of the history, or Rhea is just going to just beat the shit out of Liv and they're just going to move on. I'm going with the former.
How fitting, Rhea being champ again and Mr. Yeet, yo girl.
Mm-hmm. The power couple. The power. Nah, I can't come up with nothing that incorporates Yeet in that, so I'm going. I'm about to say the power Yeet bull. That's too much talking. No, moving on. But yeah, Raquel definitely. I definitely see Raquel returning to. I guess the way that I see this going is like Raquel returns, but they don't immediately revisit this. Like this is just to put the feud on ice until the new year.
Yeah,
they're basically going to delay the inevitable. Because if whoever returns and costs Rhea is going to be feuding with her for the remainder of the year.
Enter the Wyatt Six.
Someone did pinpoint that Sister Abby, that little doll that Alexa Bliss had was behind Liv.
Mm-hmm. Unless Alexa Bliss is coming back, but then again, who knows?
That will be interesting.
You're telling me,
Lily. Lily.
She would do well in against supernatural acts. She's crazy enough to go into that type of stuff.
Who, talking about Rhea or Liv?
Liv. She's very delusional.
So do Alexa come back and screw Liv?
Don't know. Oh, it's so hard. I am mad.
And that's the funny thing about it.
What was that?
No, that's just as funny. Like we can't tell.
I almost hit it for a second. I slipped thought that was Mandy Rose.
It's the straight hair.
Maybe. It's probably. Who knows?
Man. And that annoying ass laugh.
My boy did not like to laugh.
Like, ma'am.
What
breathe.
In the world is that?
That's how she laughed, man.
I ain't never heard.
like what is happening? Like she's struggling. Sounds like she's struggling to breathe. I hate it.
Oh, jeez.
And I didn't start hearing her laugh like we literally met her in person, and she was laughing like crazy, and she did not sound like that.
A mixture of devious, sometimes you put a little extra for the character purposes.
Like, Jesus Christ. Stop it! Stop it!
Stop it! You're trying to be crazy! You're trying to be crazy!
But nah. And then that match will happen whenever it happens. We will have a good time watching it live because that's pretty much ain't that sister's one of sister's favorites anywhere?
Liv, yeah. The Liv attire will be coming, so
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, this will be fun.
Something. Oh yeah,
that'll be something. That's
especially if she loses.
This match is for her.
especially if she loses. Oh boy, I feel a sad.
That ride back to the house is gonna be woo.
But if she wins,
Or in my case, that ride back to Waffle House is gonna be woo.
If she wins and retains, that'll be a relieving, quiet, devious smile of serves right. Yeah, trust me, I know.
Oh man.
But yeah.
And last thing I'll say about Bad Blood too, it doesn't matter who main events, Roman, Cody versus the Bloodline or Hell in the Cell, you're still gonna watch.
Yeah, about that too, because I mean, it looks like it's locked in. From what I don't know the last one you heard, but it sounds like it really for a fact is Cody and Roman because they both have ties to Atlanta. Is the reasoning.
Gresh, you're going to Atlanta. I live here, by the way. We both live here. But yeah, we're both going to be at Bad Blood.
Yes, we will be in the building. To those who didn't know, yes, we live in Atlanta. But
yeah, we'll be in the building. We were. I was born and raised here. My partner is a Memphis OG, but he
but raised, I'm back and forth.
Raised
so
here.
Atlanta's like home too. So we
so.
got ties. We got ties. But
yeah, we all got ties. But yeah, what was your thoughts on the main event though?
I mean, if they really are, if that's really a true report about it, I mean, I'm sure it is, but because they did have Cody in the freaking vignettes for Bad Blood anyway. So him main eventing it does make sense, but the reasoning behind it is he's from Atlanta, Marietta, and that's the reasoning. He's from Atlanta, Marietta, and Roman has ties to Georgia Tech, which, as Cody just pretty much mentioned in that whole vignette, yeah, you got ties because of what you did here and playing for here, and thank you for that. But you went back to your island.
Even though you didn't bring them a championship, but I digress.
You know what? I can't even fault Roman for that because nobody's brought that doggone school to championship. So that ain't even on Roman. I can't. The tribal chief can only do so much, people. You can't.
It's a team effort. You're right. You're right.
Even the tribal chief can't help Georgia Tech.
My fault, OTC. My fault.
But I say this to say, you see what I'm saying? Like, I guess this is their way of saying, I mean, Heat City. I didn't get to ask you that, brother. How do you feel about Roman saying this is my city? I'm like, hold up, sir. What do you mean, my city?
He got too much dip in his chip.
Do I need to call up Gucci and
like he put too much marinade on his chicken? Like, no, we're not. No, this is not your city, my boy. You are from Pensacola, Florida. That's where you are from. You are Floridian, my brother. You play football here. Thank you. This is not your city.
You're Florida Roman. There you go.
You are a Floridian. You are a Floroman. Floroman.
Roman. Boy. There you go. Yeah.
Jokes aside, I didn't lose sleep over it, but yeah, hey brother.
Yeah, it was like, what hood you from? I don't remember them saying you was from right up the road. Cody can get away with it, even though that's Marietta, that ain't Atlanta, but at least
that's the greater Atlanta area now.
Go figure.
But even though ain't nothing great, the only thing great about that is the women.
Fair. Okay. Fair. Very fair.
Traffic is ass out there, so that's why I didn't even say nothing about traffic. It's less traffic in actual Atlanta than it is Marietta.
You got that right, brother. Oh my god.
So
I drive in that. But yeah. Either way, I mean, once again, Drew and CM Punk, I guess the one slight is it would have been nice for them to have a main event with one of their matches. But that was not to be. But that's okay, because sometimes it ain't about where you fall on the card. At the end of the day, it's they just steal the show. And I'm pretty sure they'll steal the show. This Hell in a Cell situation. They can make us forget about the tag team match. Because I can tell you now, unless Roman does one hell of a turn or we get one hell of a debut, it's a very predictable outcome. So what are we going to do? What are we going to say? By that time that comes on, we just vibe. Oh, look. Spear.
Literally.
Oh, look. Cody Cutter. Oh, look. A Samoan Spike. Oh.
And then, look, a near fall. 1, 2. Wait, who's that? Who's that? Oh, my God. It's Hikuleo. It's Hikuleo.
Please. 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 Please.
Either that or as soon as Solo about to hit the Samoan Spike, we hear.
I wouldn't be mad at that either. I need one of these things to happen. Please. That's the only resolution I need. Somebody from the bloodline, please. Just pull up.
There's so many of them. At this point, we'll get Journey to pop up there.
Maybe.
Journey Fatu. He a deathmatch king, but he might pop up there.
I ain't mad at it, brother. We gonna know. But
you know for sure the Tonga twins are going to you said the Tonga twins?
I was thinking of that. I was gonna mention them.
I mean,
not for that match, but at some point, yeah.
I'm gonna be surprised if that's a debut in the future, but for that match, nah. Damn. Who else can they? One of y'all Samoan. Y'all got it's an entire city of y'all. Y'all you pick one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then they'll debut or return. So either way, Bad Blood gonna be a vibe. So I'm cool with that. Do you? Let's see what else we got on the docket before we get up out of here. I guess we can. Do you want to talk about football a little bit?
What's to talk about? My Titans suck. Complete trash sauce. I think I've actually considered as of this week that I renounce my Tennessee Titans fandom, and I am now a fan of the Green Bay Packers, ladies and gentlemen. Go Pack, go. Go Pack, go. Go Pack, go. I have a right. Before anybody's like, oh, you jump. I have ties to that team. My father was technically a Green Bay fan before Tennessee got a team. Technically, I could go back to that side because, well, what the hey? Why not? I just found out they don't have cheerleaders in Green Bay for some reason. That's another decision. I don't know why. They don't. But them. I don't know. But, nonetheless, yeah, serves them right. They lost to the goddamn Packers and the quarter that was there, and they traded to this very team as of this past August. So thanks a lot, Tennessee. You got exactly what you deserved. Goodbye. And then your Dolphins, well, they're just running through apparently. I know, man. I know.
3 points.
I feel bad for that backup quarterback just taking so many hits to the chest. Poor boy couldn't even come back to the goddamn game.
The backup quarterback had to get the backup to the backup quarterback had to step in because the backup quarterback kept getting fucked up.
What's going on, man? Why these quarterbacks keep getting beat up over there in Miami? I don't get it, bro.
Tua got a concussion.
Thompson, he just got straight up chastised.
That dude, Thompson got asthma now because he got hit to the chest goddamn times. and now, I don't even remember the backup to the backup quarterback's name. Like, I tapped out like by season 4 because I'm like, what? By quarter 4 because I'm like, what the fuck? You would think I'm watching the CW because I always tap out on season 4. So now it's quarter 4 and I'm tapping out. Like, oh my god.
Well, as we mentioned earlier in the show, brother, at least you won and beat me by 0.30 points in football.
Because I randomized tight ends. That's the reason why I won. I just said eeny, meeny, miny, mo on the tight end and said, yeah, you work. You work.
And he picked the tight end that nothing. 0 points on this man. And somehow he still beat me by 0.30 points. Literally score 112.2. I got the screenshot. Hold on. 112.
Oh, you screenshot?
Because I can't believe it. I'm like, wow, I lost again. This was a bad week for me in my fantasy football.
This nigga who didn't even take it serious. That's what he really think. You like, to this nigga.
No. I'm happy that I lose to a rookie in fantasy. You know, it happens. It happens to everybody. I remember when I got first rookie dub on my big rod too. I get it. But it's just so funny because I was not expecting it to be that close. And those are the ones that hurt the most. When you're like, dang, that was a good game, but man, did that hurt. Like 112.22 to 112.52, people. Gresh chains. There you go. He gets all the chains for this week, brother. You win. DJ's probably up next for you, but you win, brother. There you go.
Oh, God. I already know he gonna... DJ. Oh, yeah, we did forget to talk about some stuff. Have you been keeping up with that Vince McMahon documentary that they doing?
Yeah, I haven't thought an ounce about that.
It's dropping tomorrow on Netflix, actually.
I reserve my judgments. I might.
Nah, so basically, if it drops tomorrow, DJ is gonna make a rare appearance.
Okay, all right.
At least he plans to.
For you and DJ, I guess I can. But I can watch it.
It's 6 parts.
Okay.
It's like it's like 6 1-hour episodes.
Oh, it's 6 hours worth of content. Oh,
No, because originally I told DJ, I was like, either we watch it at once or we break it into intervals, because I know I'm gonna need a break.
Boy, giving this man trying to tell his life story. Heck, yeah, we're gonna do it.
And then he had the nerve to shape his mouth to say Netflix pretty much didn't uphold whatever, and then saying it's 2 sides to every story. And I'm like, okay, nigga. I hear you. I hear you.
You know what? No, it's too easy. It's too freaking easy. 2 sides to every story. Somebody tell Diddy that.
Like, please go to hell. Before we get up out of here, anything on Grand Slam that interests you that you want to talk about tomorrow?
The only thing I am interested in Moxley and Darby Allin, and
Uh-oh. Did it kick him out? 1 second, it kicked him out. 1 second. We live, baby. It's okay. It's okay. You good. It kicked you out. I don't know why I did that.
It's all good, brother. All right. Yeah. Those 2 mainly would be my most...
I feel like that's the only thing that I'm interested in is Nigel versus...
Yeah, Heyman's not on that card, right?
No, he wrestles on... Yeah, it's him and Jarrett in a lumberjack strap match.
It's intriguing, but it seems random. But okay. I feel like it'll be a surprising. Oh, I didn't expect that because Hangman's been in his bag lately, and old man Jeff really low key. I don't know if it's a rejuvenation or what, but he kind of this outlaw thing been working for him, believe it or not. So, uh, that might actually be a pretty nice match. It's got my attention a little bit, but not as much as Nigel McGuinness, Bryan Danielson, and John Moxley. Uh, Prince Nana provides an update on Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, for Nana, how do you not? It's not Nana. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you're gonna pay attention.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. On paper, Grand Slam looks intriguing. I know I've listened to a lot of people not really a fan of how we got to Bryan Danielson and Nigel McGuinness. Basically, I believe it was either Bully Ray, because I kind of listened to their clips a little bit, or Solid Monster, where he was like they pulled basically a John Cena Undertaker from WrestleMania 34, where Nigel is pulling all the weight.
Or even, it's funny you said John Cena Undertaker. You could even say Bray Wyatt Undertaker because he pulled all the way too.
Bray Wyatt Undertaker, Kevin Owens and Stone Cold.
Yeah, real good one. Even Kane and Undertaker. WrestleMania too. So
Now, I kind of see the argument where some people was like they kind of wish it was a face to face to build to it, even on this past week where Brian came out, whether it was on Dynamite or Saturday, where Brian came out and basically they had that final promo to kind of give a reason why Nigel hates him so much. Because you got the casual, or not even, I wouldn't say casual, but someone who doesn't really pay attention, thinking like, why is this random ring announcer or commentator beefing with Bryan Danielson and not knowing their history?
yeah, and then I mean, shout out to per usual. I will give their social media team credit. They always make those timelines for us, so at least they gave you a best of Nigel McGuinness timeline
Oh, for sure.
situation. So at least if you don't know, kids, check that out on YouTube. You can at least see Nigel's best matches in his heyday. So you won't be like, oh, he wasn't just a random announcer. This is equivalent to almost as if, Taz was still in a shape to wrestle. This is like him coming out of retirement to wrestle something, in a sense.
True.
People only see the commentating version of you, but they don't know what you were before you were that.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that's AEW Grand Slam. We'll definitely peep it tomorrow. Tomorrow's a light day for me show wise, so I'll literally be done after I get the air in my tire or get my tire changed. I'll be out and about, but I'll definitely try to be back in time for Dynamite. But
Sure.
yeah, outside of that, before we get up out of here, top NXT moments for them on the USA Network. They did a video package.
Yikes. Oh, boy.
I would say, like, you can just random number. It don't have to be recent. It could be of all time, because they've been on USA Network since 2019. I would definitely say the Finn Balor heel turn on Johnny Gargano with that smooth Pele kick. I always love that. Keith Lee pouncing Adam Cole into the crowd will never fail to make me laugh. Keith Lee becoming double champion.
For sure that. For sure.
Undisputed Era holding all the gold. I love that moment in time.
That was 2019
as far
still?
Yeah, 2019, 2020.
Oh, wow.
Rhea Ripley winning the NXT championship from Shayna Baszler. I can keep going,
2019?
actually. That was the end of 2019.
God damn.
Because remember, Rhea lost the title to Charlotte at WrestleMania Night 1 in 2020 during the pandemic.
Yeah, she did. Damn. God, dog.
Yeah.
That's. Wow, bro. Okay. Huh.
Let's see what else. What else happened on NXT?
I can give you some.
Okay. Cause that's the gate 6.
Dakota Kai's heel turn on Raquel Rodriguez. Or Gonzalez.
Still think she should have won that title.
She should have, but you know, it was another one of those epic heel turns. You know. Let's see. Well, for certain, if I'm not mistaken, Bron Breakker's debut. Yep, gotta go into the 2.0 days. Because it was very evident that he was getting catapulted from day one, the moment he got put in there. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams as a dynamic duo, pretty much that entire Trick Mello gang era of them just being, you know, from the moments of when Trick went from sidekick to elevating to them being like besties and feuding, you know what I'm saying? All of that. So I got to throw that in there one time. Let's see what am I missing here. Goodness gracious. Io Sky's heel turn on Candice LeRae.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a very pleasant heel turn. Where she was like, "I hate everybody. I don't need anything. Like I hate, you know." For the hell of it, the debut of Solo Sikoa.
And him winning him winning the North American title. That was a good moment.
It was, especially because no one saw that coming at that time. So you just got that call up. And like, oh snap.
There's so many good moments actually.
New
the
Day,
good far outweigh the bad.
New Day beating Pretty Deadly for the NXT Tag Team titles.
Oh yeah, that was the reason why they became 13-time tag team champion.
Yeah, nobody.
And it was a surprise, if you will.
And that was really their last great moment together, for real. Think about it. Like that was their last true good. They haven't won gold since, so that was their last true moment together.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah, bro.
So,
I'd say that's about
thank you NXT for the run on the USA Network. We know the chaos that's going to happen on the CW if they let you go balls to the wall with the camp chaotic writing that y'all introduced on the USA Network. We had some good moments, had some bad moments. We definitely want to hear you guys' thoughts on NXT on USA Network or for when they went 2 hours. And it's been that way since 2019. And now they're going to be 2 hours over on the CW. So it's like it's been a while. Over 5 years on the USA Network for NXT. We'll move on, we'll move forward, and that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys rocking with your boys for another installment of the Gresh Leagues podcast. And we are our brother's keeper when it comes to keeping each other locked in and tuned in. Speaking of being locked in and tuned in, what you got coming up, brother?
To my people watching, if any NYC New York this weekend, catch me live in Queens, Jamaica, Queens this upcoming Friday for a major rap competition. So make sure you head over to my Instagram at Hi-Lite Life. You can scan the QR code on the flyer, or you can click the link in the bio and go get tickets. They're only about $12 to get in, so just come pull up. I would love to see you. Pull up on your boy, and I'll also be in the building that Saturday on Broadway for an award show out there in NYC. So make sure you pull up. If I see you in the building, say hi, but don't be weird. You know what I mean? You know how we do. But
I feel like we gotta say that with a lot of people.
Gotta say that with a lot of people. And shout out to my home team. I will be out there as well Friday night, so we'll be doing some event. Keep it locked on my social media for details on that one. And October 26th, man, we got a major concert going down right here in Atlanta, in the Tucker area. So anybody that's watching this that's in the Atlanta area with us, make sure you head to my social media, scan that QR code, click the link in my bio, get tickets to the Get Right concert. Would love to see y'all there. Other than that, brother, we here, we coolin'. You know what I'm saying? What about you, Gresh?
We cooling. You said the 26th. I might pull up. I'll be 30 at that point. But nevertheless, make sure you guys tune into the Public Enemies podcast this Thursday. Graham will be out of town, but it still will be a 4-man power trip on Thursday. We'll basically be giving our thoughts on Dynamite, everything that's going on, everything we pretty much talked about here, but we'll basically get their opinions over there. And also make sure you guys tune into All Shit Here We Go Again Monday. We didn't do it this past Monday because I had a show. And your boy was kind of exhausted, so we didn't have the time. But make sure you always tune into All Shit Here We Go Again with Ruthless Lala. Unless something else comes up, hey, we are there every Monday. That is her show. That is her baby. That is all her. I'm just a producer and fill-in co-host until she finds somebody to do that, because I don't like to work Mondays. But other than that, make sure you guys tune in, stay locked in. We on the road to 100 episodes of this illustrious podcast that we are bringing you the good vibes to the best of our abilities. And with that being said, make sure you guys scan that QR code to subscribe to the podcast in audio format. We listen to wherever you want to listen to your podcast. Make sure you guys follow your boy on social media at It's Gresh. Make sure you follow the podcast itself at Gresh Unleashed. Make sure you follow my boy Hi-Lite Real at HILITE Life. Make sure you guys follow and support OTS Media Co. My boy, shout out to my boy DJ Derek. We love you, brother, and congratulations in advance. You if you know, you know. But other than that, we will see you guys next week for our final episode before Bad Blood, and then we may or may not take a break. We probably won't, because we'll have time to recover. But we'll definitely see you guys next week for our preview predictions, and then we'll definitely get the ladies' predictions at the show. So that way we can match it up and see who wins, and bragging rights and all that good stuff. But with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in these streets, and remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. We out. Y'all be crazy.